This close to the real thing is never enough. It's close to the real thing, but it's still just a bluff. I don't know why I ever fell for that stuff, but now for me I need to see something with real substance. I can sink my teeth into and chew, and you should know that in this world nothing is free. When it is, it's a you that's for sale. Don't fail to see the irony. And when it's just this close to the real thing, it'll never surpass the real thing. Baby, do you know where that real thing is at? Do you know where that real thing is at? fuck, I fuck it up. Anyways, anybody in there? Hey, there's a couple people. That's good. Gonna play a short little jam session here. I gotta go do some work at noon, so I'm not gonna be on here for very long. If there's anybody that wants to hear me play a certain song, or tell me what it is, I might play it, or I might not know how to play it, or whatever. I'll try. Think of something I'm gonna play. I don't have any ideas yet. Ideas are what I'm looking for in my mind. Ideas are great things to think about. Well, that's what an idea is, actually. Something to think about. Like, can you imagine the think tank that would have been taking place when they decided to make 5G trees? They're like, those 5G towers are really ugly and menacing, and nobody really likes the way they look. I can't imagine why they would. And people know it's not really safe to be around them, so maybe we could design them in a way that fools people to where they don't notice them, Because it's not safe to be in close proximity of the 5G tower, but maybe if we disguise them to look like trees, then people won't realize they're near them and they won't be upset about it. And we can just put them everywhere and they'll look like trees, and then people will be tricked and they'll be hanging out in close proximity of something they shouldn't be hanging out in close proximity with. It's a great idea. We could put them all over the place. It's these 5G trees. We'll just fool people. And then when they do discover that they're 5G trees, they'll just be like, huh, that's weird that they would try to fool us. Oh, well. That wasn't a very effective think tank. I don't think you guys really reached any kind of... It's not a viable idea. Like, it's not going to solve any problems, really. Or are you just trying to be creative? You want to be artsy about your installment? I mean, what is the goal here? What are you trying to... What was the original purpose of that think tank? Like, we need to be more artsy about our installment because they're ugly? Or is it more like we need to trick people into thinking that there's just a normal environment here and they're just hanging out by a tree? That way they don't realize they're hanging out near something that's dangerous to hang out near. Is that what was the purpose of that think tank? What were you trying to achieve? You're just trying to be artistic? I can't imagine that telecommunications companies really give a fuck about being artistic. That's not really... And they clearly don't really care about, like, aesthetics. I mean, they're 5G towers that aren't disguised as trees, that aren't hidden inside flagpoles and fucking whatever. I mean, they're menacing looking. They look evil. They don't look... It looks foreboding. It looks like you're staring at a weapons system. That's what it looks like to me. And considering that we already had internet before they were installed, it's not like they were a necessary installment to that end. It's like we already had internet, so it's not any faster or better than it was before. I mean, that's just a joke. So, aside from the joke, I mean, what was the... Are we looking at a weapons system? Well, certainly that's what they... I mean, the same hardware is what was used in military applications. It's known as active denial. It's a non-lethal intervention. It doesn't kill you, just makes you feel like your skin's on fire, so you disperse. Crowd dispersal techniques. Yeah, we'll just turn it down a little bit. So, I mean, really, the amount of power they have going into these 5G towers, I mean, it should raise any eyebrows, especially anyone who's like electricians or like people that understand how much power can be channeled through copper cables the size of my arm. Multiple. Like a fucking cluster of them per tower. Like, you don't need... Okay, we're talking short-range microwave radiation. Short-range. Those towers don't really have that broad of a... they don't cover that much of an area. That's why they had to put in so many of them. But think about it. I mean, if you see how much juice they have running into those towers, there's a lot of power running in there. And so, I mean, is it really is that really efficient to have that much juice running into a 5G tower and it's only going to be broadcasting internet within short range? I mean, it's like you have that much juice running into a tower that can only broadcast internet short range, is that really an effective way of doing what you claim to be doing? Like, is there I mean, because I would have to say that what we had going before was better because we didn't have to be in the close vicinity of these fucking ugly, menacing looking towers that aren't safe to be around. And, and you know, I'm not sure how much power was run to those towers before, but regardless, there wasn't as many of them, and we still had. I mean, the point is like these aren't any better. I mean, it's what there's clearly other reasons why these were put in that aren't being readily disclosed. I have half a mind to say that the internet service they provide is maybe just a, it's like a, it's just like a, it's like a side note. I mean, it's not the main reason they're put in. Perhaps it's not even doing that. I think it probably is. Um, Although I do notice when I drive my car by a 5G tower with the radio on, I get massive interference, and you can actually measure and gauge the range of that 5G tower that you're driving close to by by using your radio. You can turn your radio on, and when you get close to the 5G tower, you'll notice you'll get massive interference, and the interference will stop as soon as you leave the area. Yeah, thank you. As soon as you leave the area that the 5G tower is reaching, your radio will come back. So you can measure how far the 5G radiation is reaching by using your radio and just listening for the interference and see when it comes and when it goes. It's like, I've done this. That's how I know you can do it. And it's interesting. Like I know where there's a 5G tower that I've tested this method with, and it's like when I drive by, it's not always on. Like it's not always operating because sometimes the interference won't happen. It usually does, but sometimes it doesn't. So they're not always operating. I mean, it's a good way, like if you don't have the tech handy to like actually measure the electromagnetic frequencies running through the air or whatever you do. I mean, I'm not too tech savvy, whatever you want to say, but I do happen to know that typically we weren't, it wasn't like a good idea to hang out in close proximity of a cell phone tower. And it would in fact, it was something that was known to greatly reduce property value if you were living near one. And, AT&T goes so far as to like warn you, or actually they didn't warn us because I was investigating a 5G installation that was on the side of the road one day, and me and my girlfriend found this sign that was glued backwards to the panel. It was glued like this, so it was glued. It wasn't screwed in, it was glued. Me and her both had to pull on it and pull it off before we could. I was like, look, there's a sign that's been glued on here. I'm like, what the? We pulled it off, and we saw, lo and behold, there's the warning. And we were trying to find the warning too. It was funny because I was making a video, and I was like, I wanted to find the warning, because it was on a bike trail. It was right on the bike trail, pretty much. And I was like, so people are just passing by this 5G tower every day. It's in a neighborhood. We couldn't find the warning, and here it was. It was glued backwards to where people couldn't see it. And the beauty of the situation was, when we pulled this thing off, it was glued, facing, so the back was facing, people. But when I pulled it off, there was another one of these signs that it was glued to that was facing out. So that was originally, the warning was there visible, but then they glued this one on the front of it so you couldn't see the warning. But when I pulled this one off, I brought this one home, and I left the other one sitting there so people could see the warning, so I was... But I mean, it's like, wouldn't that be considered kind of like bad ethics? They're not even concerned that like somebody would discover that they actually covered the... I mean, I made a video about it. Of course, nobody watched it, but still. It's bad mojo, man. You shouldn't... Like, oh, we put it so close to the bike trail, let's just not tell people that it's dangerous. So we put the warning signs up. Well, you can't see them, but we put them up. I should go back and see if they actually covered the one that we left or took it down or something. Smoke them if you got them. Justina, Angela, hello, good morning. Gaming and outside, hello. Nice to see all you. Anyways, I wrote a song about it. When AT&T rolled out their 5G, they put it everywhere and anyone can see. At the park, at the playground, radiating all around. At the local farm and drug, you'll see it up above. At the club, at the bar, wherever you are. If you look hard enough, you know you're gonna find the stuff swimming in it. We're swimming in it. Well, we're swimming in the sea of directed energy, thanks to AT&T and 5G. If you go to the store, you might see 3 or 4. The police department out the window, your apartment at the fire station. Can almost taste the radiation. Every city, every town out in the cuts, you bet your ass the place is lit the fuck up. Every street, every boulevard, every avenue, you'll see them at museums, even see them at the zoo. If you're AT&T, there's nothing stopping you. Sometimes they want to try to be a little more covert. They'll stick it in a flagpole, put it in the cross at church. Sometimes they really just want to try to hide it, so they'll get creative and try to disguise it. They got those 5G evergreens, even got the 5G panels that'll look like a palm tree. Oh yeah, AT&T, well we're swimming in it. Swimming in a sea of directed energy, thanks to AT&T and 5G. Machi Kid is going tonight? Cool. What time's he starting? I always thought it was funny how, when it's a different spelling of the word raise, but it's like when they demolish buildings, they say, well, they raised the building to the ground. It's a different spelling, I believe, but it's the same pronunciation. It's like they raised the building to the ground. Or did the ground raise up to the top of the building? How does that work? It's raised. Well, no, actually, it's been lowered, but I mean, it's all how you look at it, I guess. Well, it's a different spelling, so well, what the fuck? Do you ever use that word any other? Raise? It's like R-A-Z or something. E. I don't know, R-A-I-Z-E or something. They put a Z in there just so you didn't think about the upward vector. They're like, oh, let's call it raising with a Z. That'll fool them. It is kind of deceptive, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, if we'd been, I wonder, if we'd been, I don't think, it's like the thing is, I don't think indoctrination would have changed the way we see things. I mean, it does appear that we're in a stationary realm where there's, if you drop something, it falls to the ground. I mean, obviously, from our frame of reference, that's what it looks like is happening, But we could have been at least educated what normal force is, because, I mean, we do understand, I mean, intuitively, really, on a certain level, that, all dense objects will be pushed in the direction where the force is coming from, and all buoyant objects will go in the direction that the force is moving. Where it's like I always use the example of a car, where it's like you step on the gas pedal, you're pushed against the seat. The force is coming from the seat, from behind you. You know, it's coming. So you're pushed in the direction the force is coming from. The buoyant stuff is going to go the direction that the force is going. So like you'll go pushed against the seat, or however you want to call it, pushed into the seat. The balloon, the helium balloon, will be pushed against the windshield because it's going. The buoyant thing is going the direction of the force is moving. You, the dense object, is being pushed against where the force is coming from. So that's intuitive. We understand that. And now when we're just standing here on the ground and the balloon is floating up into the sky, well, obviously, if you're going to assume that your orientation has to do with where the force is coming from, which I don't know if we can even prove that's the case, but then we'd have to assume the force is coming from underneath us. Now, because I mean, here's the thing: is like if we're going to be if we wanted to test that, I don't know how we would test that. How do we really test what creates our orientation? Because I mean, if you're in a like say you're in a spaceship or a device or something that can like move you around for great distances in different vectors, and so you can go for long periods of times where you're being pushed against whatever wall it is that the force is coming from. Obviously you're not going to be going down because you'll hit the ground, but you're moving across the sky, so there's at no point in time, I firmly believe, this is what my hypothesis is that you will never, doesn't matter how long you're being pushed that direction across the sky, accelerating, speeding up, you're never going to feel oriented to where your feet, I mean, I don't think you would. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you do that for. I don't think you're ever going to be standing sideways because the force is coming from that direction for so long. You'll just orient that way now. Because there's always going to be this orientation that we have. We can't escape this. So how can we really test to see if it's vector that's causing our orientation? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Because we can change the vector, and like if we get off whatever, the force that's underneath our feet, if we remove ourselves from that, we're moving around in different vectors, we'll still feel oriented in this fashion where the down is down and up is up. And so I don't know if it's a vector necessarily but that's the thing, we're still within the system, though, so it's like you can't really, there's no way to really test to see if that's what's causing our orientation. I would imagine so, but I don't know, though, because I mean, it's in relation to what? I mean, we have nothing to compare it against. I'm probably just not making much sense right now, but to myself, I'm making all kinds of sense, so good talk, Bas. All right. Papa was a rolling snowball. Wherever he laid flat was his home. Please don't dominate the rap track if you got nothing new to say. If you please go right up the track, this train get to run today. Spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. Some say you better run away, others say gotta stand still. I don't know, but I was told in the heat of the sun a man died of cold. Keep on running, don't stand and wait. The sun getting dark and the hour's so late. Ooh, I want another, one way or another, one way or another. This darkness got to give, it's got to give. Who can deny, it's not just a change in style. Yeah, so one step gone and another begun, and I wonder how many miles. Spend a little time on the mountain, some time on the hill. Saw things getting out of hand, but I think they always will. I don't know when I was told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. On the other hand, I've heard it said it's just as hard as the weight of lead. Oh, look the like jack of any other highway to ride. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide. Spent a little time on the mountain, spent some time on the hill. Saw things I don't understand, but I think in time I will. I don't know what I was told. If the horse don't pull, you got to carry the load. I don't know whose back's that strong. Maybe find out before too long. One way or another, yeah, one way or another, one way or another. This darkness got to give, it's got to give a one way or another. One way or another, this darkness got to give, it's got to give. Flying down the road like a shooting star, laid back in my silver car. It's hard not to feel like a star. Come around the corner and what do I spy? A monolith scraping the bleed. Shit, I fucked it up. Flying down the road like a shooting star, laid back in my silver car. It's hard not to feel like a star. Come around the corner and what do I spy? A monolith scraping the bleeding sky. The monolith blocks out the sky. The siren song of the cash machine draws you close to the glowing screen. Your plastic card to fuel your dreams. I'm cruising now, I'm worry-free. Ain't picking fruit from your money tree. No monkey suit, no corporate clown. Your greedy hands won't hold me down. Cruising now, I'm worry-free. Ain't picking fruit from your money tree. No monkey suit, no corporate clown. Your greedy hands can't hold me down. Flying down the road like a shooting star, laid back in my silver car. Hard not to feel like a star. Come round the corner and what do I spy? A monolith blocking the bleeding sky, scraping the sky. The siren song of the cash machine draws you close to the glowing screen. Your plastic card to fuel your dream. die. I was on my way to seize the day, and then it passed me by. Then another came, it was much the same. Let it go, didn't even try. Now I'm far away and here to stay. It's all been done and tried. Nothing more to say, just fade away. I'll see you on the flip side. Into this feeling again. Oh, where you've been, you won't be back again. So I made my way, pursuing play. Took my turn, going down the slide. There's an old cliche that I must say, only do 'cause there is no try. Only do 'cause there is no try. There's an old cliche that I must say, only do 'cause there is no try. Been to this feeling. How's that go? Been to this feeling again. Freedom, let's see. Freedom in a moment to do anything. Watch where you stand there. Forget how to sing that song. Watch where you stand there, my friend. Oh, where you've been. It's all coming back again. It's all coming back again. It's been to this feeling again. Been to this feeling again. Freedom for a moment to do anything. Watch where you stand there, my friend. Where you have been, you won't be back again. Something like that. That's why it starts lower. Been to this feeling again. Freedom for a moment to do anything. Watch where you stand there, my friend. Oh, where you've been, you won't be back again. That's how it goes, something like that. That's closer to how it's supposed to go, at least. You better act fast, jackass, last chance to hammer in the brass tacks. The type of lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging asshole, acting like a maniac. Do you wonder wonder why exactly I'm expanding that, just consider the fact that once you grab your bug out back, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around, cause this whole thing's gonna come down. That's right. You better act fast, jackass, last chance a hammer in your breath. You better act fast, last chance, hammer in your breath. You better act fast, jackass, last chance a hammer in the breast. A type of lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging asshole, acting like a maniac. Do you wonder why exactly I'm explaining that? Just consider the fact that once you grab your bug out back, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around, cause this whole thing's gonna come down. That's right. And we will see who's laughing. We will see who's laughing when the place starts collapsing in a free for all. Anything can happen when the ship goes down. So does the captain. Wherever you are, it's where you'll be stuck. Yeah, when this place goes belly up, better have yourself a damn good plan. The shit hits a fan. Oh, gonna get stuff, you better be clever enough, you gotta know what the fuck to do. You're gonna run amok, let the muck run you. You better act fast, jackass, last chance a hammer in the breast. A type of lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging ass, or acting like a maniac. Do you wonder why exactly I'm explaining that? Just consider the fact that once you grab your bug out back, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around, cause this whole place is going to come up. The whole place is gonna burn up. The whole place is gonna go up. Better grab your bug out bag and bug up. Something just ran into my head. Watch where you're going. I've been running against the grain ever since the day I came along. That's the song that I've always sang. I've been running against the grain ever since the day I came. I'll be running against the grain till my dying day. Yeah, but when you run against the grain, it causes friction. And you know that friction starts to burn. Yeah, and when it burns, you know what's gonna happen. That's when this place is going up in flames at the end of the game. Up in flames. I've been running against the grain ever since the day I came along. That's the song I always sing. I've been running against the grain ever since the day I came along. I claim the grain is running the wrong way. I've been running against the grain. I've been running against the grain. Yeah, but when you run against the grain, it causes friction, and you know that friction starts to burn. That's when this place is going up in flames at the end of the game. Up in flames, end of the game. I see circling the drain, circling the drain, circling the drain. Everything is going down the drain. I see circling the drain. But when you're circling the drain, it means you're going down, 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 down the drain. And when you go down that there drain, nobody knows where that drain goes. It just goes down into the ground. I went to the Hoover Dam when I was a kid. When it was overflowing, it was like one of the few times it was overflowing. And I got to see it. And it was crazy. All the water spilling off the spillway, you know. It's coming off the dam and it's going down into this tunnel. I was just a kid, but I remember my little brother was in my mom's little backpack. He's just a little squirt. He was like, 1 year old or something. Couldn't walk yet. He was just a little squirt. And like I remember seeing him in a backpack, and we were looking over this edge. It was just like, it wasn't like much of a block really. It was just like a fence about waist high. And we could have just slipped and fallen into that tunnel. It was just this massive tunnel. It was like the size of, it was just big. It had to be like 100 yards across or something. It was just massive. And it was just all this water, and it was just going straight down. It just black, I just remember looking in that tunnel, seeing all this water spiraling into this tunnel, just going out of sight. Just like, no, you can't see the bottom. You're just like, where does that tunnel go? It's so big. I just remember thinking like, Mom, get it back away from the edge. I was just worried about Paul like falling out of the backpack or something. It's like you never see the person again. I mean, it's like into this tunnel, and it was scary. It really impacted my mind. Like it left like some kind of trauma. Like I just remember thinking like, that is intense. Like it's too easy for someone to just fall in there. I mean, we could have just like slipped over the edge. It's like, that's just crazy. It's such a danger. And the tunnel just went straight into the ground. And I remember asking my dad, where does that go? And he said something about, this is in Las Vegas, I guess it goes out to LA, like they pipe the water down there. I mean, can you imagine? This tunnel is fucking massive. I was just a little kid, but I remember it being like this big mouth, it's fucking huge. It was like the size of a football field or something. Maybe it wasn't that big, but it seemed like that big to me. In my memory, it seems that big. It was like this big menacing hole. All the water is like overflowing off the dam, which was already kind of a cool, like sort of intimidating looking thing. See this huge dam and all this water coming off into the spillway and then down this huge tunnel. It was like so big, It was like, and I've done some research on how they built the Hoover Dam. I mean, it's wild, man. They had to use unconventional methods of building dams. I mean, what they did was allegedly, this is what they did. I mean, there's evidence of it, which is there's all these tunnels they built. That was one of them, but that was, it's a different one. But they built tunnels further upstream, like big, huge tunnels, like side chutes off the side of the main stream, but only to be used at this. They were going to be used once this is what they did. They dug all these side chutes off the main river, and then, but the river wasn't flowing down into them, but it will after what they did. What they did was and I'm not quite sure how they did it. They must have used, because I think TNT, there's certain kinds of TNT that can be used underwater. I forget what kind of explosive it is, but they created an explosion that was big enough to where it pushed the river the opposite direction. They blew up the river, and the river exploded, and it's a big river, and it pushed the whole river upstream. It changed the flow of the river, went the opposite direction because of this explosion, and as it was doing so, it overflowed into these little tunnels that they had, these little side chutes that they had made, and they did it in such a way to where, like, after they were able to build the dam, all they had to do was plug up the side chutes or something like that, and then it would flow back into where it used to flow, and then it would fill up the dam or whatever, But they had it all rerouted, but in order to make it go down there, they had to cause an explosion to make the river flow. It was because it's such a massive amount of water they were trying to redirect. But I remember reading that. I'm like, is that really what they did? It's insane, dude. Can you imagine conceiving that idea? And it turns out there's a bunch of stuff that's underwater there. Like just about every dam that you're going to find is built in a place where there used to be a town that's now underwater. Like the one right down the street from me, that's the situation there. It's Lexington. It used to be a town. Now they built a dam there, and it's no town anymore. So it's a way of like burying history, erasing history. Cool, huh? All right, I gotta go.